to the Wet Coast Walls podcast. It is June 16th, 2016. Welcome to everyone who's coming back and everyone who's finding us for the first time. A lot of you guys have been coming out of the woodwork, so it's been great to see everybody. In a good way, the woodwork always seems awkward.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Welcome to all our new subscribers. We hit 300 as of this morning, which was super exciting.
Pretty cool.
That's kind of what I meant by news. Welcome to everyone.
Well, yeah, okay.
You can find the store online in all these places. And you can find our show notes on our Ravelry group. Or if you have any questions about the episode, we'll have all our information about our projects and everything in there. So if you want to know what we're knitting on, what yarn we used, we make very extensive show notes. All the links to things. We have a special guest with us today. This is Kelsey.
Welcome,
Hello.
Kelsey.
Thank you.
I'm Bernadette.
I'm Glenda.
And yeah, Kelsey also works with us here at the store. So we thought it's about time we had her on for a special guest appearance.
I had to get up extra early for this today.
She doesn't usually work on Thursdays. All right.
Sorry, because it's extra early. Most of us
Extra
have coffee, so there'll be lots of beverage consuming. We'll kick it off with finished objects. Do you want to start off, Kelsey, since you're our
Sure.
special guest?
Ooh. Well, maybe I'll do mine kind of as like a miniature group since it kind of goes with the store window.
Sounds like a plan.
We did an underwater theme for our window this month, or I guess for the summer. So I made a sea anemone out of some of my scraps.
That's so fun.
Lots of I-cord. Not a fan.
Did you end up picking them up and attaching them all? Or
So
did you
I did like half and half. And I gotta say, I like the look of when you actually go in and pick up the stitches like the pattern says, but it's really cumbersome to do that once you get about 5 of these guys on there. So I ended up just doing the rest on their own and then stitching them in, mainly because I was lazy. But it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. Kind of like, if you put a shell in it, it'll implode on itself sort of thing. So it's cool. I like it. And then for some other things, these are just examples. I made a few of these little starfish guys. They're pretty fun. And you'll be able to find links to all of these guys, the patterns on our show notes, because I have them on the Ravelry. They're all free patterns too, by the way. I also made little shrimpies. We made cocktail shrimp, which I thought was fun. They even have googly eyes. I don't know if you can see them on the camera.
I love
but they're pretty
Google
fun.
eyes.
They're pretty fun. So, yeah. Those are my finished objects for the week, at least. Everything else is kind of big that I have on my needles right now, whereas these were really small, and I could crack them out in, a couple of hours.
Yay. We go a little bit crazy with our windows, and it used to be mostly me knitting them, and I'm very happy to have help now, except now we get really crazy with the windows, because when you have 3 people knitting and not just one, there's so much more potential.
Plus, it gets a little bit competitive, too.
Of course. Wait, us? Competitive? I don't know.
Natural spirit of the store, unfortunately, is like friendly knitting competition.
Yes, exactly.
You're knitting a jellyfish. Well, I want to knit a sea anemone.
Well,
or crocheting a jellyfish. Pardon me.
yeah, no. Well, speaking of jellyfish, I crocheted. That's all your photos, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all my finished objects.
Trying to transition smoothly, which is not working. I crocheted 2 little jellyfish. I'll try and put a picture between Glenda and I, so I don't have to put it over someone's face. Also for the window, I crocheted those guys out of scraps. I also took a video of the window, completed. Well, before Kelsey put her things in there, because we put the window up and I filmed the thing. So if anyone wants to see it, I think I'll just throw it in at the end of the video, I think.
It's probably easiest.
If anyone wants to see what the window looks like.
And if you're in town, just come visit, and then you can see it in person.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's much more fun in person.
Yep. I was just like, should I just run through all my foes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool.
I'm buried, so.
When getting all stashy with things. A quick, small one.
Ooh, that's a pretty color.
It is. It's Sweet Georgia that I got at the Woolies fair.
That's the one you showed last...
So pretty.
2 episodes ago?
Yep.
Last episode?
It's bulky, so I knit it quickly.
That's so pretty.
You can't... Oh, there you go. You can kind of see the texture. The color's a bit weird. But it's the Everyday Brew by... What is it? By Clare Devine. That's it. She put out a tea collection, and most of the hats were bulky, and I love this hat, and it is just the right amount of slouch. This is Sweet George's Superwash 6, which is a 6-ply bulky, so it's got a lot of spring to it, which is really nice. This color looks amazing on everyone. It's the Oceanside colorway, and I'm very excited about it.
I like that it's called Everyday Brew because I feel like you'd look really awesome having like a Guinness in your hand while you're wearing it.
It is a tea like related thing, so like there's acai and like rooibos and oolong.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it's like a whole tea collection of bulky and worsted hats.
Nice. I'm
Which is,
totally
like,
checking
super
her
fun.
out later today. I know what I'm doing after podcast.
She's a fantastic designer, and I love it. And Brian obviously immediately tried to steal it because it's blue and it's a hat.
He's got enough hats. You need to keep it for
You
yourself.
might have to watch out. I might steal it by the end of today.
I already
What's funny
tried
is like
mine.
Glenda,
did you?
like Glenda tried it on, Brian tried it on, and the colorway looks amazing on everyone.
And I
it's just
don't
the
usually
perfect
look good in
amount of
hats at
slouch.
all, so yeah, but I think I could have pulled it off.
I think so.
I did go down a needle size on the top of the hat purely for fact that I didn't have 10.5 double points.
Oh yeah.
So I did the brim's done on
those are
US 8s, 5mm, and then I did the hat on 6s / US 10s. So yeah, that's my first one, and it's warm, so I'm not gonna wear it.
Could have used it yesterday. It was freezing yesterday.
Yeah, it was cold
I could have used
yesterday.
it yesterday. But yesterday, I did wear this. Oh, queen of transitions today. I finished my Anouk cardigan. Yay! I was going to wear it, but it's 1,000 degrees in the store, as per normal. So yeah, I finished my Anouk cardigan by...
There's a really fun picture of her wearing it on Instagram.
Yep,
Yep.
it looks much better than it previously did. So I was almost done this last week, and then because of weird yoke issues, the yoke is way too deep on me, and there's still a bit of extra fabric in the chestal area. So if you are a larger chested person, it'll fit great. Which
You just
I-
need to
is-
grab some of our knitted knockers
yeah, just add
and just
padding.
add some, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great sweater otherwise. I knitted it out of Briggs and Little Regal, so it's very smooshy. I still haven't washed it because I'm lazy. Yeah, it's got these cute little buttons on the cuff, which I just got at Dresso. I think I showed these off last time, but I love the buttons. Buttons are one of my favorite parts of sweaters. I also realized
Those are really cool buttons.
I got these ones in Ulster
Nice.
at the Ulster Museum. Which you can't really see, but they're terracotta and they have flowers. And I'm excited about it. And it was perfect yesterday for when I was walking around on our weird, slightly cold June day.
It's funny because I was down at the pier too yesterday, probably around the same time.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I actually got a sunburn on like my chest from walking around, and I was just like, I'm wearing wool, like
the
by
sun is
definition.
Crazy. Total digression. It's crazy strong these days. I
Yeah.
was helping Mike on the boat on Sunday and hadn't planned to be down there for long, and so I didn't wear any sunscreen, and I totally burned my shoulder, and it was
Yeah.
there like, and I was in the shade the whole, well, I thought I was in the shade the whole time,
Yeah.
and it like an hour, and it was a crazy sunburn, and I was half expecting it to peel, so I've
Yeah.
been like covering it with cream, but
That's what happened with me at my student recital on Sunday too.
yeah, it was supposed to be like rainy and cold and stuff too, and that's why I didn't wear sunscreen.
I'm having weird weather, although apparently everywhere is, from what I
Yeah,
noticed from podcasts.
that's true.
Okay, so I have one final faux, and then I'll give you guys my updated stash totals. So Sam reminded me that when we started this on episode 2 or 1, I was talking about my rainbow crocheted granny stripe blanket, and she's like, whatever happened to that? And like shamed me into working on it, and now it's done. It's also
Oh, I like your border.
different. Yeah, I
Wow,
wanted
I
a
did
thicker
not-
border, but by the time I was done with it, Kelsey, could you assist me in the showing of
Cover
this?
me up, just totally
Moving
like
coffee.
I'll hide behind the blanket.
Okay. So
Oh, I see what you mean. You did it the other way. That looks
yeah.
so good.
So I ran out of yarn on 2 colors, so I decided to stop. But it also has this really unique feature. Thank you. It's this really unique feature where I changed my hook halfway through, and the gauge did weird things. Because apparently my gauge is a lot looser, which with the comfy tipped or comfy handled crochet hooks.
I found I was crocheting slower with mine, and I wonder if it's a similar thing, if that's why the gauge changed.
Don't know. I'm trying to fold it. You can't really see it when the full blanket's like in use, so I won't lie. Still gonna gift it anyway. Because I'm not
Now
gonna...
that you've advertised,
Well, no,
that
I
there's like
told
something
her.
a little wonky with it.
No,
It's a
I
special
told
design
Amanda.
feature.
I told Amanda. But you can see, okay, now that I folded it, that's where one side is.
Sorry, I
and
wanted
that's
to-
where the other side is. So it like is a parallelogram. The bottom is even, kind of. But yeah, it like is completely odd shaped on one side. But it is super soft and really colorful.
That'll look great.
And I'm very excited to give it to Amanda. I'm gonna wrap it up in tissue paper and like send it in a box of other gifts that I forgot to give them for Christmas. Slash I didn't see them, so
Because June is totally... Hey, it'll be Christmas in July.
it'll be Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not hit the table. This blanket used up 1,296 meters of my stash. The hat used up 79, and then the jellyfish were 168. So altogether for stash, I'm at 4640 for my meterage. So I'm almost done. 5K.
I just gave up before I even started because it was like with these two, there's no point.
Well, yeah, and I think I've decided I'm not going to cast on anything new until July, so I can focus on my whips for a bit.
Which I originally thought meant that I could get ahead, but then not if she's finishing stuff that quickly.
Yep. So I think if I focus my efforts, might be able to get more done, which would be great.
Although, well, we'll see what happens. I have plans to cast things on. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to do my FOs. So the first finished object I have were the socks for Paul, which I've already given to him, so we're going to put a picture here. Mm-hmm. Last time when I talked about how I hadn't touched them, Mike
Scooch over.
was watching a podcast, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so what about those socks?" And yeah, so but I did a blitz and I finished them, and
Like
they
Mike
were
and my powers combined, we shall shame you into finishing things.
exactly. So yeah, they turned out really well actually, and we, Paul really liked them, and I have yet to hear back if he hadn't tried them on when Mike gave them to him on Tuesday, so. Hopefully, I did tell him I have 20 grams of yarn left over, so if he needs to make them, have them. He is size 10.5 feet, which are really long. I'm not used to knitting them at that length.
Man, socks are hard.
Yes. Okay, so my next one, my Edie tee is finished. I almost wore this today, and then I didn't. Oops, it's inside.
Oh, is it Edie? I always thought it was Edie for some reason.
I don't know. I've been calling it Edie. It's only one D.
Yeah, here,
E-D-I-E,
let's not
so.
get your coffee.
Your freely hands in your coffee make. Oh, that was probably super loud.
Sorry to all of the people
Yeah,
who
right
I
at the
just vibrated.
microphone. So there's my tee finished. There's a picture of me on Instagram wearing it, and on my Ravelry page. And it's super comfy, and I've already had to wash it like 3 times because I wore it, the first day I wore it, I went home and made taco salad for dinner, and guess what splattered out of the pan? But the stain didn't set, so it was just one little spot. Of course, right smack in the center, but it came out. And it definitely, like, the more I wash it, the softer and softer it's getting. I love it. And I love the shape, and I think I might make more of them with different yarn and maybe not put this slip stitch pattern in it just to change it up. So yeah, that's that one. And then I just finished, excuse my squeaky chair, down in the bottom. This, now I don't have the ends woven in because I literally just finished it last night. But look!
Yay!
Rounds of applause.
Yay.
Fireworks.
I love how this turned out. I think
Do you
the
want
colors...
us to hold it sideways across you?
Yeah, we can do it that way.
You want to talk through your blanket?
Making faces through my blanket.
We'll
Can
just
you see?
ignore the end that's coming out in the middle.
Oh yeah, well, because I used every last bit of yarn, and so I just, you can join.
Awesome.
The nice thing about crochet is you can just join new yarn anywhere.
But you can also do that with knitting.
I know, but I tend not to. I don't know why.
It doesn't look as good though, depending.
I feel
on
like
what
it
you
hides
use.
better when you do it in crochet. I don't know why. Anyway,
Join my yarn wherever, and I think it looks fine.
I'm just really
personally.
weird.
I'll challenge that with my shirt later.
So yeah, this is for the other twin of our friend Kathleen, and funny story, she popped by yesterday with her little ones, and I was sitting at the table crocheting it, and she starts coming through the door, and she had her big stroller and everything, so I didn't go to help her. Instead, I scooped up my blanket and pitched it in the back room so she didn't see it. She may have seen me do that, which I think was hilarious, but
And if
yeah.
she's watching this podcast, she now knows what one of her blankets are going to be.
Well, I
Oh,
don't
she
know.
knows. It's been like 3 episodes of the podcast.
Yeah,
that
I'm
have
sure
her
she's been
blankets
seeing,
on it.
and she did say yesterday she's super excited to get all her goodies, so she clearly knows that there's things.
Yeah, we can tell her to start tuning in on episode 6 if she doesn't want to see anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. She can go back
Like
and watch the rest later.
Yeah, just like I think we're done with her stuff, so
Yeah.
she can start tuning in.
Yeah. So this pattern, I didn't actually say, it's Attic 24's neat ripple pattern. I love the texture on it. I did it on a 6mm hook. And I don't know why, but I felt like this one, it technically has fewer color repeats than the last one I did. Because I guess but I felt like it took ages and ages and ages to knit it. Now maybe that's just because or crochet it, because I was doing it all, like, so I was pushing to get it finished, but
Yeah.
this one really felt like it was like, by the end of it, I'm just like, I don't want to do anymore. So I have to lay off crochet now because because I'm a thrower for my knitting, when I hold the yarn in crochet, I get a lot of like forearm kind of cramping, and my thumb was giving me trouble yesterday, so I'm laying off crochet for a little while to let all that rest, and then I'll come back to it later on.
Just to play mildly devil's advocate, I feel like if you did crochet more often, the muscles would get used to it.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
might be wrong about that, because with me, crochet, my issue is my wrist.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have delicate doll wrists for some reason. But yeah, like, because I know when I was learning to knit continental, my hands were really sore.
Yeah, and the only thing I worry about is that I don't want to like do any like
You don't want to get
tendinitis
yeah.
damage. So what I should probably do is do a little bit and then stop and then go like do just a little bit each day rather than like hours and hours and hours repeatedly. So yeah,
Like, I
And
don't
do stretching.
I don't know
Yeah.
what pain you're feeling. For all I know, it's actually pain. I feel like, okay, this gap is just weird.
Now I'm all alone over here.
No, I just need her to be like in the middle of the two of us. It just keeps making like
Here,
a
I'll
weird
do
V.
like this.
There you go.
No, it just visually it's distracting.
Yeah, I know, it's strange. So anyway, my stash total is now 3,993 meters because of the things that I finished. And hopefully hopefully I'll get more soon because I need to catch up to Bernadette.
I need to keep my lead. I'm like, when I saw that you updated your total on like the show notes, I was like, oh crap. She's gaining. Need to finish that giant granny square blanket.
Oh,
And then there'll be no catching up.
This is exactly why I was just like, I'm out.
It's so fun though. I want to
my
crochet
goodness.
a little trophy that like we can like use
Have-
every
yes,
year.
pass around for sure.
For whoever.
Although, but you know, the other reason why she's volunteering to crochet it is so she gets the yardage for that.
Yeah.
It's probably like 10 yards. I also just have some scrap bulky yellow.
I was gonna
That would
ask
work.
them actually because I have those sweaters that I've been sewing up for and doing the borders on.
Sewing
for-
doesn't count.
Well, no, but I'm knitting the borders on for.
Yeah, if you're knitting the borders.
So
it
can I
counts.
can't count the whole sweater because I didn't knit the sweater part, but can I count the borders that I'm knitting? Does that it's for someone else's finished project?
I don't know. That seems fishy. You might.
It's somebody else.
You're like 10 yards of border. Like,
Hey,
is
every
it
little,
really
adds
worth
up.
at
it?
this point, every little meter counts. No, I probably won't add those things.
So it's just
but-
like you can ask Lala, but it's a little.
Yeah, no, it's a bit kind of like scraping for.
Well, just like it might be like 50 meters, but then again, I knit a hat because I was like 80 meters.
I'll get started on that fixing that purple sweater, and that'll give me a good
There you
1,000
go.
meters or so in there.
You want to hear something really disgusting?
What?
I haven't even edited the 2 sweaters I was going to edit yet, and I'm almost at 5,000 meters.
Just you're gonna make me want to quit before I've started.
No, don't make me play by myself. It's not as much fun.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so Kelsey, do you want to do some of your whips?
Sure, why not? We'll start with maybe the oldest, I guess you could say. It's kind of a little bit on the back burner right now while I finish the summer top, but this is one, it's called, I think it's Laurie by You and I Knit, or Josée Paquin. I'm going to totally butcher French here this morning, just as an FYI. So it's a really fun top. I don't know if you can kind of see the little bit of the patterning on it, a little bit texture of it.
Well.
It's super stretchy, super squishy. I'm knitting it with Sweet Fibre in Lagoon. It's her DK Merino twist.
pretty.
It's so squishy. It's so cozy. But when it started getting really hot outside, I was like, I need to work with something a little bit lighter. So I'm kind of going between this and a couple other things at the moment. I'm knitting it on, let's see, what did I put for needles? I wrote this all down. 4.5 millimeter needles. So it goes pretty fast, which is great. I've just unfortunately had to re-knit some of it a couple times because I failed to read the pattern thoroughly first. But it's not a hard pattern if you actually read it.
It also doesn't help that if you knit it at knit group,
Yeah,
and you miss a couple of stitches, and then a pattern like that can go way off.
it goes
and
a little wonky.
when there's too many of us sitting.
Maybe
there and
I'll
laughing and
send
talking.
Bernadette a photo that she can put in here of what happened to it at first, where it could have been a hat instead of a sweater. It's quite funny.
Oh, is that when you were knitting?
I did it. I knit it. I read round instead of row, and that didn't work. Let's just say that. And it took me a little while to get to that point, which, yeah. Anyways, but it's super fun, super great pattern. 100% recommend it. Love the yarn. It's been, yeah, super fun. Can't wait to wear it.
That's so fun.
Yes.
Are we doing all at once, or should we change?
Let's alternate because I think we're about even. What are
Okay.
you working on, Glenda?
This is my Gulfoss sweater. The side of it that I thought would be farther along. It's really dull at this point.
At first, I thought you like ripped out the back.
No,
I
it's
know,
like-
that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh no.
The back is it's here
Panic.
somewhere. It's I don't know, somewhere down
okay.
below.
Can I find it?
I
It's
showed
okay.
it.
It's
Whatever.
fine.
I showed it on the last podcast because I had the back finished. So this is the part, and this actually goes like it's a side, and then this will be like a long gray rectangle that kind of comes across the back of your neck and goes. So this is the front / sides of the vest, and yeah. So it's just at this point it was so you knit this part, the garter, which you can't kind of see.
So much anxiety
Sorry,
today.
it won't spill. Don't worry.
No, I'm just the yarn's gonna end up in it, and it's just
Meh, this is my yarn. You do this part back and forth, and then you go and you pick up the along the bottom, and now it's just basically stocking out for like enough to go all the way around in my neck. I forget the exact dimensions, but when it's finished, it is all double stranded, so it will have good yardage.
Is it really stash busting though if you basically took it from the store and started knitting it right away?
it's
Does it
Stash
count as
can
stash
be
yet?
according to the rules. Stash can be any yarn that has entered your stash at any point.
yeah.
I should be keeping track then for stash because I've almost made a whole shirt and that's like at least. No, I don't think I'd be up to close to 5,000 though.
Well, I think the
there's-
minimum
there's a
entry is
3K.
3,000.
Minimum entry. Okay.
yeah.
So,
It's all different. Just Glenda and I have just gone insane.
We've just decided we need to be at the 15
Well
level.
then.
Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we also just I also have just a ton of whips that have slowly been giving me anxiety. So I'm just like I had five blankets on the needles at some point, needle / hook, and I was just like I can't do this.
good
anymore.
motivation to finish stuff.
Yeah. I finally finished my skirt. Okay. You have anything else to say on your thingy
not on
before we
this
get
one,
on a
no.
tangent?
Nope.
Okay. I will just do what I'm currently working on. So I am working on my Father's Day socks. This is not the first one. This is the second one. Same as last week, or last time. It's vegan yarns. Here, I'll grab the second one. I made myself a ninja bag to keep it in because I was getting super bored. Look it, they're hiding in the darkness.
I love the
I love it so much. And then I made the inside like what I considered like a Japanese-y kind of print. I don't know. I'm not Japanese. I have no idea. So,
I need to get the
This
name of that pattern that
is-
you used to make the bags. I mean,
oh, I can't remember. I will link it in the show notes if anyone's interested. But so I put this on my holder needle because I got to the heel yesterday when I was out in Langley and needed more knitting, so I cast on the other one. So this is on my holder needle, but that's how long my dad's foot is to the heel part. And I had to stop because I was going out to Langley to 88 Stitches to get some Kobasi in black to do the heels with. Not terribly exciting. It's the same sort of blend as vegan yarn stuff, but vegan yarns was entirely out of black. So I always love an excuse to go out to 88 Stitches. And yeah, so the Kobasi is cotton, bamboo, silk, nylon. So it has a bit of silk in it, which I don't think vegan yarn stuff does. But my dad likes BC Lions themed socks, and I only have about 20 grams left to do the legs, so needed something for heels and ribbing. So hopefully, my goal is to have these done for Father's Day. I feel like it's feasible, considering it's all just plain knitting.
this Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I think I should be able to do it, because it's just plain knitting, and should be okay. We'll see, though. Yeah, my dad's socks, they're 72 stitches. 72 stitches around. Probably going to do a fish lips kiss heel. Magic looping them on high sharps, because they are the best, and also because it's cotton yarn, and you need slippy needles, or it's going to be a bad time. Well, personally, for me. You can do whatever you
No,
want.
I
with
would
your
agree
knitting.
with that.
It's just, yeah, your hands get a lot more tired if you're knitting grippy yarn on grippy needles.
Yeah.
I knit a top that was all silk and cotton, and I was like, at the end of it, I was like, I'm never knitting with silk cotton blend ever again.
Cotton is so hard, or can be so hard on your hands too, depending on what you're making.
Yeah, this, I have to say though, like, it doesn't hurt my hands at all. The elastic allows it to, like, have a bit of give while you're knitting.
Yeah.
So although my father has ginormous feet, and these are taking what feels like forever for stockinette socks, I'm really enjoying the knit. And it is a really beautiful yarn. Like, there's a lot of tonality to it, even if it's just, like, plain non-self-striping sock. So I'm excited about it. Although I showed him the toe, and he was like, oh yeah, Is his reaction. I was like, that's not what I was aiming for. But okay.
You better warn him he's going to get cut off if he doesn't start showing more appreciation of his socks.
He has left his sweater and socks out so he can look at them every day, though.
Oh, well, that's good.
So
That's cute.
it's like right next to the TV, so it can be like, oh, a sweater, because it's too warm to wear it.
Yes.
So
Very
that's
much so.
nice of him. Kelsey?
Oh, back to me again. Ooh, okay. So the Holst yarn is popular here, or Holst Garn, probably. I can't speak today. You'll learn this the more you get to know me, as I have issues with words. So I am knitting it's just like a split back tank, and I think it's just called Split Back Tank by Alison Griffith. And this is with the Samarkand. This is just the very bottom, so it's done bottom up, and you do it in like one straight piece, and then fold it kind of over on the back of itself and stitch across. So I think it'll be a really fun kind of lightweight summer top. It's kind of hard to see, but there's the garter ridge here and around the corners, and then it just goes on the straight stockinette. So it's kind of a mindless knit, but I think it'll be just something light, breezy for summer. I'm knitting it on a 4mm needle, so again, it's one that's going like fairly fast.
We're fine, I checked.
Sorry. I can't.
I'm not self-conscious at all. Yeah. This stuff's awesome. It softens up so nice, and your hands feel great when you knit with it. And yeah, it's the Samarkand blend that we have, so it's a 25 silk and 75 wool.
There's a lot of Holst on the show today.
Yeah, exactly. We all love this stuff. So,
I need to order some more soon because I think we're low on some colors.
Yeah, people keep asking for this color, but I snagged it all.
I bought like half the red when it came, and I was like,
I know.
Yoink. Well, sorry, I
think I might have left the purple for like a week, and then I was like, it's coming home.
Yarn chicken.
I think we may do, well, no, I don't know.
Don't make
Never
any
mind.
promises publicly.
No, I'm
Your
not.
turn.
My turn.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the other
Say it
thing
in Muppet voice. It's more legit.
The other one. Okay, sorry, I have to dig because it's in the bottom of my bag, which is kind of in the way.
I love the fabric. Show your bag.
This is my bag, so I got into.
We finally forced Glenda to sew.
Into sewing, and this actually it's funny because I had this fabric. I was going through. My fabric is all in a plastic bin in the storage cupboard, the storage cupboard that's in our house in our flat, as opposed to the storage locker that's in the basement, which I never go to myself because I don't like being down there because I'm a wuss. Because we went shopping for fabric. And then I went into my fabric box, and I'm like, wow, I have a whole lot of fat quarters that I haven't remembered that I have. Anyway, so this bag I made with one of them, and it's got little, spotted inside because
Why not?
Yeah.
Super cute.
So
Really fun.
this is not really enough. It just occurs to me, this is
whip.
all I have. A whip, sorry.
It's a mustache.
It's not even a mustache. It's like literally like 2-3 rows.
I was gonna say, did you just cast that on
No,
your way over here this morning just so you'd have another whip?
No, so this was because I am the queen of second sock syndrome. So someone that people keep saying
you are not the queen of second sock
okay.
syndrome. Have you? No, the grocery girls are the queens of second sock
yeah, I guess
syndrome.
they have a lot of. Anyway, fortunately, they're doing a second socks of summer cal. So I hauled this out because I had cast this on immediately after finishing the first one, which is there, which I showed before, I think. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what everyone says, and I'm going to cast on right away and, get the right, so I remember the right stitch counts, whatever. And so then I hauled this out because I need like a vanilla sock for knitting on the bus and stuff. And so it's like all of like 2 rows. And then I was like, okay, so I'll just do vanilla sock. And then when I was looking through the show notes the night before, I realized that the previous sock had no OMG heel, which is a good thing that somehow I failed to make a Ravelry page for it yet. And it's a good thing it was in the show notes in the podcast because honestly, I would have just done a normal heel flap and then they would not have been a matched pair of socks.
That would have been hilarious, though.
It would have been actually, but...
It would be a
Although I probably would have figured it out because usually I keep the first sock around so I can match by it's about the same length, and that's like a super because it's OMG heel. It's for me a super short heel flap.
The tiny heel flap because it's a really fast heel. That's its entire point.
What is it?
How do they fit, anyways? Because I haven't made one.
It depends on your foot. I don't have a very high arch, so they fit my foot really well. I also have a very tiny heel. She does this, I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but she has a larger version of the OMG, which is this one, which has a longer heel flap, which fits deeper arches better.
I feel
I'm
like
wondering if I should try that one when I try one.
these ones I was making. Well, originally I was making
It
this.
stands for sorry. The toe up version is 1 needle mock gusset, and then technically the top down stands for something else,
Okay.
which I can't remember.
Yeah.
But technically,
So I think I tried the sock on Mike because originally this was going to be the sock that I was going to give to Paul, and then I decided it was too narrow for him. And I feel like if you have a high instep, it's actually not as good because Mike is quite broad from the, I guess it's the instep from the top of the heel to the top of the foot, like
Yeah.
the corner. And these are actually, you can see even where he's tried it on where it pulled quite a bit.
Yeah.
So these are going to be my socks because it fits me better. So yeah, I think if you have a really high instep, probably it's not. I think like he's
Not as ideal.
yeah, Mike I think is better with the heel flap socks that I make for him.
well, I think that's why she made the spacious version.
Oh yeah.
I know the spacious one fits Brian a lot better because he has a tiny foot and then giant. So I
Yeah.
think if there's a more drastic increase, it's better. So I don't know. It's good. I have nothing now. My cafe. I'm out of coffee now, and I'm just like, oh. Okay. So speaking of the spacious OMG heel, my next whip is my expanding community socks, which have mildly taken a back seat because Father's Day is Sunday. But they are both past the heel turn. I have one on my Hiya Sharps, and you can kind of see the patterning there. It's garter ridges with like knit stitches in between, and then this is the spacious OMG on the expanding community socks. It's got a ribbed back, which allows for extra stretch because the back of the whole sock is super stretchy. So this is sock number 1. You can see the super determined pooling of this yarn.
It's a fun colorway.
It is. It's the Diamond Select Footsie one. I don't think we have this one at the moment, but I think we'll probably get it in maybe in the future, depending on how.
Yeah, I had ordered a bunch of colored ones, just kind of randomly picked a bunch, even like before we were talking about them, and they didn't send me. All I got was the solids, so I don't know. I think they're all probably on back order till I get the fall shipment. So.
It's like somebody got the bug for multicolored socks.
Yes.
Well, it's a really good. Their sock yarn is so good. It's really good quality, and it's like
Super
I think it's like
inexpensive.
$10.50 a ball or something like
Yeah.
that. It's for a 100-gram ball. It's really good.
Which is why I had a bunch in my stash, so I've been trying to.
You can't even buy a pair of socks for that much these days.
Really.
No, but okay. So this is my second one. So I have 2. This is how I prefer to knit socks instead of transferring them back and forth between the same needle. So one's on Hiya Magic Loop, and then the other one is on my Carbons 16-inch. They're both 2.25. I'm doing the 56 stitch size because it is a super stretchy pattern because garter. And yeah, I'm hoping once my dad's socks are done, I'll have these done. The only thing I may be casting on between now and the end of the month is a pair of vanilla socks. So if you see new vanilla socks, don't call me on my stuff because I need movie knitting. And yeah, unfortunately, this is just too much work to do in a movie. Okay. Kelsey, you have one more whip, right?
Yes, I have one more. All right, now this is where I'm really going to butcher my French because I'm going to first, I'll show you the magazine. So my pattern is from here, and it's kind of a mock-up of a couple of patterns in here. They do a combination of like sewing and knitting and like combining the two in here. So the one that I'm kind of doing the mock-up of, but only knitting, is this guy right here.
Oh, is that band stitched on? Is that fabric in the
Yeah,
picture?
it is. Isn't that cool?
Oh, so you like knit the pattern.
So you knit the pattern, and then there's like a special bottom that you do, so you sew in the band along the bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. A friend of ours and frequent customer here brought this back from Belgium for me, along with the wool that I'm using, which is
Entirely different.
the same. So Bergère, guys, maybe?
Bergère,
Bergère.
de France.
There we go. And it's the Paradou, so it's a DK weight. And it's in the color Mandarin. So I'm almost done actually. That's what I'm working on right now. But I have like one side kind of done. It's essentially just like a big box. It's not anything too complicated, but it's got a little bit of sparkle in it. The fiber content there's a whole bunch of different things in it. It's like linen, cotton, acrylic, viscose, and a little bit of polyester. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. I think it'll be another really good summer top sort of thing. So sorry, Glenda. I keep being like,
No, I'm laughing.
No.
Bernadette keeps moving my coffee cup around so that
Oh,
none
so
of
that-
the yarn ends up
well,
in the
sure.
coffee.
Let's just
No.
read
Okay,
it.
because Sam and I were having a knitting date last Wednesday, and she actually accidentally dunked her sweater in her water.
Oh.
It was water, thankfully.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like super aware of beverages.
I'm
Water.
I'm used to being a klutz and spilling things on everything, so I'm not too worried about it. As long as it's my stuff it spills on, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm just impromptu coffees, colored yarn may not be the best thing. Sorry, phone rang.
So just to continue on briefly, this is on a 4.5 millimeter. So again, and you can tell I like bigger needles for fast knitting right now. But yeah, I think it'll go really fast. It'll be really super fun. Great summer top.
Such a fun summer color.
Yeah, it's cool because I would never have normally picked this color for myself. But to have someone go to a different country and then bring something back for me, and I was like, you know what? I'm totally on board with this. So yeah, I'm excited to finish it. Hopefully by the end of the weekend. It's my goal.
Yay, that'd
So-
be lovely.
Yeah, because I'm going to the Okanagan this weekend, so I can wear it
fun.
while I'm there.
Yay.
Although it's supposed to be like 33 degrees, so
Maybe at night.
maybe in the evenings when I'm not
Yes.
swimming or tubing down the river channel to cool off.
Yeah, good
Oh
plan.
yeah, you're going to Penticton.
Yeah, Naramata.
That's right.
Yep.
So to continue on
Okanagan cherries.
to continue on the whip train, I did just want to say though, both Kelsey and I are working out of our yarnets.
I didn't bring my Javier today.
Can I use... Okay, I want to highlight something, and mine doesn't have my nubbin. For everyone who doesn't know, when you get a yarnet, and it's up here, you take the nubbin, and it goes in one of the holes to keep it from
It won't
unlocking.
undo now.
It's not for needle storage. It's to keep it from unlocking. So that's what the little nubby's for. Also, if you get a pink one, or a red one, and you have one with a mustache, it looks like lips! So this is Sir. I totally stole the name from Two Tangled Skeins. Because Lynn named her Sir, and I was like, I also want a fancy yarnet. I'm considering getting Google eyes and a little
I thought about
monocle
doing
and
that.
like a hat on the back. Because he's fancy, and he would match
Victorian
my dandy
eyes.
cercephalopod.
So apparently, I just heard from,
I love Sir.
not that I actually looked at the website myself, because that would be work. According to Chelsea and Sue from Legacy Knits, they have met, the Yarnate people have met their Kickstarter. It was either Kickstarter or GoFundMe. They had a thing to fund their big Sully. They're going to have like the large size Yarnate
nice.
that they've been talking about for a long time.
Yay.
And so they got enough money to fund their thing. Because I've spoken to the, and I'm totally blanking on her name, but the woman who makes the yarnets, and she was telling me about all the challenges of funding the, like, just even the prototyping of these things.
Yeah.
The Mr. Sparkle yarnets that they have, there is a very long saga that goes behind just trying to get the right
Wow.
sparkle that would show up properly in the plastic. And that was a huge undertaking just to get that to work properly. And so yeah, I'm so glad that they now have their funding and they can go ahead and make the big Sully. I'm
Yeah.
super excited for that one.
And we do sell the yarnets at the store, so maybe hopefully eventually we'll get big Sullys, which would
Yeah.
be great because, like everyone, I think that's my main issue is that's not big enough. So the final whip, which is mine conveniently.
I had my whips, but they all
is
turned
my-
into faux. So
Well, you have other whips, you just didn't have 3. So I'm working on I finally, also because Sam shamed me, she's like, what happened to that red sweater and your rainbow blanket? I'm like, yeah, so I was working on my April sweater. I got all the way to the sleeve separation and then realized I'd completely messed up the lace. So I had to rip out a day's worth of work.
oh no.
And I tried really hard to get back, but I didn't, so it still looks like a weird smooshy thing. I could move it to a bigger needle, but with this yarn and the lace, it's actually nicer to have it on the smaller needle. It's done in the Holst Garn, in the Carmine colorway, on my US
I think it's
4.
Sure.
Move it over this way. So we
Oh,
can
no,
see
I
it
know,
then.
I'm like looking at stuff.
Oh,
I'm gonna like stand up. So that's the color, that's how it comes. It's very exciting. This is all I have left. This is my first fall. It is insane.
There's so much yardage on them. It's amazing.
It's great. So this is my April, all smushed up on the needles. You cannot see the lace at all. Thank you for moving your coffee. Yeah, you can't see the lace at all. But yeah, so I'm like 4 rows away from sleeve separation, which is excellent. It's a great thing about frogging is you can see how close you are.
I'm totally
Getting back to your
casting
spot.
mine on now that I have things finished.
this, I'm trying to find a good picture that doesn't have secret sauce on it. So this, it also has a drawing on the back of it, but this is what the sweater looks like. Kind of pretty. Can you see it? There we go. So that's what it looks like.
I'm gonna sneeze, everybody.
I'm
just
about
so
there.
Yay!
So yeah, that's the April sweater. I'm hoping to focus on it a bit so I can get more work done on it. This is another reason I'm not going to cast anything on, hopefully, till July. Also, because my birthday's in July. Okay, I'll edit it out.
Allergies!
Yeah, no, so my birthday's in July, and also our Canada Cal is starting on the 1st.
Yes.
So there's a lot of casting on I want to do. So I gotta save.
I really want to knit a moose. Would that be considered Canadian?
Yes.
Sure.
Actually, we need to talk about this. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll just transition into this.
Yeah,
so
let's do
I've
this now. We
finally
can do stuff
figured out,
afterwards.
I'm just going to be halfway off camera.
Yeah, slide in.
Get cozy.
So I figured out the rules. We figured out, but I
did it.
Yeah, I mainly
Let's face it.
I copied a lot of the Two Tangled Skeins rules, except we added an extra thing, being a BC yarn store. So the Canada Cal is going to run from July 1st to September 30th. The idea is to knit something out of Canadian yarn or something that's Canadian inspired, either Canadian yarn, Canadian pattern, or something Canadian inspired. I know that Marcia from Fairy Little's knitting the giant maple leaf shawl. What are you doing?
Glenda's got music playing in her head, and so she's just going like this.
No, I just noticed there's a post growing out of my head, so.
Perfect. In the middle of roll. That'll be the intro. I'll just cut that out.
There you go.
Throw that in there. So the Canada Cal. So Marcia's knitting a giant maple leaf shawl, which is very Canadian. If you wanted to knit a moose, would totally count.
Totally work.
But what we're doing slightly differently than the rest of the Cals, because we are a BC yarn store, what we want to focus on is BC yarn and patterns. So if you knit something out of BC yarn with a BC pattern, you get extra entries for having BC stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
There are some really great BC designers.
yeah, well, Tin Can Knits.
Tin Can Knits, amazing.
Marcia as well.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to knit some lace shawls.
Marcia.
Would Josée
Caitlin-
count as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Josée's
Caitlin
based here in
French.
Vancouver. There's Shannon, whose last name I can't remember, from the island.
Oh,
and-
Jane Richmond.
And Jane Richmond.
So many.
There's tons.
So there's tons of great designers. There's
Cassie
also tons
Jackalope.
there's tons of great yarn as well. Some new stuff we got in, which I will highlight in a second. Very excited. Yeah, so if let's say you knit just for example, a Gramp sweater out of Custom Woolen Mills. Tin Can Knits is a BC designer, so you get 2 entries for them, and then 1 entry for the Custom Woolen Mills because it's Canadian yarn, but not specifically BC, which is great. It would also be a very nice smooshy Gramp sweater.
Yeah.
It'd be cozy.
It would be very cozy. So what we're going to do, different than our sock hop, is instead of bringing stuff into the store to be photographed, you're going to post everything on the finished objects thread in the Ravelry group. Let's say your fictional Gramp sweater, because you get 3 entries for that. You're going to post it in the thread 3 times, and just tell me why you're posting it 3 times. I'm going to try and be in the thread and check in on things and make sure everything's kosher. I will have a chatter thread separately, so if you want, you can also post your objects in there and people can ooh and ah at how great they are. But no talking in the chatter or in the finished object thread, because I will delete your posts.
We'll have a separate chatter thread.
Yeah.
Did you just say that? And I
I
wasn't
did.
listening.
I did just say that.
Oops, sorry.
So yeah, chatter thread, finished object set thread differently, because it will make it easier to draw things.
because
we
if
can
they
random number generate
Yeah.
it, and I'll double check and try and make sure everything's all good. Yeah. So when you post, I'll do an example post at the beginning, so you can kind of see how I'd like your post to be in the thread. I'll post all the notes in the thread as well, the finished object and chatter threads. You're welcome to do whips, but what I would like is if it's not 50% done. So like if, unfortunately, like I know stash dash is a thing and I'm stash dashing like no one's business, but I would really, another phone call. Busy morning apparently. It's like we're
they
popular or
know
something.
psychically they know that we're in here and therefore they want to talk to us.
Yeah. So yeah, whips are welcome. Just make sure you're doing about 50% of the work in the thread, please. It's 3 months. I feel like you could get a decent chunk of stuff done. Yeah, and I would also, I'm very picky. Like, and if your project's at least 50 grams, like, so if you were knitting blanket squares, like, I don't have a blanket square rule yet. Let me see if anyone wants to do that. If you have a bunch of BC ones, maybe put them in a quarter of your blanket, and they can be one entry, maybe. Yeah, so if you're doing a bunch of amigurumis, like 50 grams worth of amigurumis or whatever, just because then it's a decent size entry. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask me on the Ravelry thread. You can also PM me on Ravelry. If you're in the area, you can also come by and just ask me in real life. Probably easier just on Ravelry, though. Yeah. I think that's it. Oh, so one of our prizes, I haven't figured out what the rest will be. I will also post those in the Ravelry group. But Glenda ordered.
I was fabric shopping online because apparently it's not enough to just go to the stores and do it.
No, fabric's great. So Glenda ordered some Canada fabric. It has, oh, I'm too far away. Stupid screen. So it has some maple leaves for the outside. And then this one has some fireworks on it. So I'm going to sew up some, probably at least one bag. I'm going to try and find some Canadian charms. And we'll figure it out from there. As per usual. Only slightly organized. We have rules this time, though. So, can't expect...
Technically, we still have 2 weeks till the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I was like, no one... You guys...
We are pretty good at procrastinating here, so...
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying really hard. So, we got rules, we got a start and end date, and we have sort of vaguely a prize.
Yes.
Getting there. Maybe we should get, like, one of those, like, Canada mugs if someone win, like, from Starbucks.
Oh, yeah,
With
yeah.
Vancouver on it, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
We'll
I love those mugs.
There's a lot of... We'll make prizes. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
And they'll be good.
Yeah, so, like, it'll probably be a project bag that looks like my Ninja one, but in Canada fabric. So that'll be fun. So speaking of Canadian yarn, a lot of me talking today, guys. Canadian yarn, we got a new yarn into the store today. Or, not today.
This week.
This week.
Since we last saw you.
Yes. Sorry. Hello. We are super excited to be welcoming Riverstone Yarns to the store.
Cute claws.
Yeah. It's Susan, right?
Yes.
So Susan dyes this yarn up in the Kootenays. We have her worsted weight base, which is 100% merino.
It's so squishy.
It's
We
really
have
squishy.
her...
Let's face it, they're all really squishy.
we have her sock weight, which is just 100% wool. Or not
Is it?
100%. No,
Oh.
sorry. Just what I meant to say. 75% wool, but not merino, which is my favorite, that it's not merino, because it wears better. Not that I was biased in picking this base. But this skein specifically will probably come home with me soon, because Brian got his black belt, and I think he needs black belt socks. So, yeah. And what a better way to try out a new yarn than celebratory socks. We also have her MCN, which she does beautiful speckles of. Ooh, this is my favorite one. This is her Lonely Planet colorway, which in my head is her Pluto colorway, because Pluto is a lonely planet. Still a planet, I don't care. 90s child problems. Yeah, so that's her Lonely Planet colorway. It's merino cashmere nylon. It's so soft.
It's amazing.
She has a bunch of other speckles as well and some other beautiful variegateds. Do we have the pictures on our website?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 3 still waiting to come of the solids, I think, of the merino worsted. I can't remember.
Okay. So
But
most
yeah,
of the
most of them
pictures
are up there.
are on our website. They're also on her website. She has an amazing website. I love it when people are like, it's 2016. We should not have a crappy website. So yeah, I'm very excited. We saw her at Fibres West, and I bought a skein of Lonely Planet on this base and couldn't get it out of my head. So I was just like, you should maybe give us your yarn, please.
Yes.
In a more professional way.
And then I did meet Susan at Sorrento as well. It was very nice to meet you, Susan. We had some fun evenings.
Hi, Susan. We
Susan's
love your
super
yarn.
sweet.
We do.
Yeah, so I'm not sure with my Canada Cal if it will possibly be like an elf tee out of the yarn I have Lonely Planet on this base or what it'll be. We'll figure it out. But I also have yarn for a rain outside shawl, which we'll see.
Not that we get to, like, compete in the...
Well,
in
not
the-
ours, but I won't lie.
Oh, that's right. We get to be in other people's...
Yeah, lots of other
Canada
podcasts
Cals.
are also doing the Canada Cal, like Two Tangled Skeins, Marsha from Very
Very
Little is. I don't know if Socksetter is participating because I haven't watched her newest episode yet.
I'm not... I can't remember.
I think the Relentless Knitting
Just
Girls
talked to them
are,
Saturday.
which is exciting. So yeah, other podcasters are doing it. So I'm getting it along. Because I can enter in other people's. There's no rule against it. I'm not fancy enough yet. Not knit more levels of fancy. And I just grabbed... We got new colors of our custom Woolen Mills 2-ply. I only grabbed one. Should I grab other colors as well?
No, it's all right.
There are a lot
They're
of
all on
colors.
our website.
Yeah, so this is just one of the colors we got. It's our custom Woolen Mills 2-ply. Do you want to talk about it?
I love this yarn. So if you don't know them, Custom Woolen Mills is
So smushy.
a yarn mill that's based in Carstairs, Alberta, which is about an hour, they say it's about an hour and a bit outside of Calgary. And it's a mill that's been there. There's a few of them in Canada that they're like 100 years old. And oh my God, I so want to go on a road trip there to go visit, because you can like take tours in the mill and see the yarn being wound, and they do like wool like duvets and all kinds of stuff as well.
I'm in. When are we going?
I know, actually. I think
We're
most
going
of,
to Iceland.
most of our Thursday group is totally into this. We're trying to figure out, because it's like, what, 14-hour drive to Calgary? So we could totally do it. Like a weekend.
Okay.
We need like multi-drivers. That's the only way to do it. But
Or we can get a bus.
yeah.
Talk about the yarn,
insurance.
though.
Yikes. So Custom Woolen Mills uses Canadian wool. So they find there's random farms around that they collect the wool from, and they so if you actually have your own sheep and you want to get your fleece processed, you can ship them your fleece, and they will wash it, card it, spin it, whatever you want with it, and then send it back to you. I've heard that you have to have 50 pounds of fleece in order to get all your own stuff back. Otherwise, they kind of co-op it, and they just put it all into one big batch, and so you get like a mix. But anyway, they also take a portion and they sell it themselves, which is what we get in, and it's amazing. It's full of lanolin. When you feel it, when you knit with it, it's gorgeous. It's so soft, and like you can feel it on the oil on your hands. I love it. I have a couple of sweaters knit with it. I do recommend. It's a yarn you have to block before you
100%.
calculate gauge, because it does bloom.
Because it's woolen spun.
Yeah.
So woolen
it's-
spun 2-ply.
She knows this part better.
I'm just like, there's points. My
It's-
brain's like psychically read my mind.
Yes.
It's a woolen spun 2-ply out of Western. I think it's mainly Western Canadian sheep,
Canadian,
because I
yeah.
think anything past Alberta goes to Briggs and Little. I don't know
Yeah.
for sure though. We have like 2 mills. That's
You
like
can.
it.
there's a McCausland one too, actually.
Oh, sorry. We have
PI.
3.
Yeah, of the major ones anyway. So you can actually go to their website, and they have a really great blog. They, I think the new generation of the family has taken over some of the online stuff, and they had a couple of really fascinating posts about talking with the farmers who grow the sheep, where they get the wool from, and they are very conscious about treating the wool well and they don't scour it too much, so which is why the lanolin stays in it, but they can't call it organic because that's like a certification process, but it is very environmentally friendly and
Got lots
environmentally
of
conscious.
veg matter in
I was
it.
gonna say, you can even see I just pulled out like a little piece of,
It's not
it's
as
hardy wool.
yeah,
It's wool.
it's so nice.
It's great, squishy, lovely wool.
And it wears super well. I have this gray sweater that I made with it, and I could wear that thing every single day, and like, oh, I love it. I need to make another one.
Okay.
I'll stop now.
Thanks. I'm such a jerk. I realized also, because the show notes is on 3 separate pages. I just entirely skipped the craft all the things
Oh yeah, I was
section.
wondering when we were getting to that part. That's
Sorry,
all right.
guys. Out of order, because Kelsey, you have very exciting craft all the things.
Ooh, yes.
Hand-dyed Canadian
So
variety.
I was gonna say, speaking of like Canadian
Ooh, yes.
wool,
Yeah, clearly,
so-
I did this on purpose for transition.
Exactly.
It's-
It's a
yeah,
perfectly good
exactly.
transition.
So let's say as of the beginning of July, that'll give me enough time, and then that way nobody's going, when is it gonna come in? I, along with Glenda, have done some wool dyeing in the past, and then I just kind of took it overboard. So
We started with a little wool dyeing party with Kelsey and I and Jessie, who yarn over New York, and she took off and clearly did much better than the
it
rest of
just
us.
keeps coming.
Colors are so
Yeah, Kelsey has a great color sense. So,
Here, we'll show you some of them more close up.
well, as you guys are showing
This
them, so what Kelsey meant by the beginning of July is we're going to be selling her
Yes.
stuff at the store.
It's
is
going to
what
be
she
an
meant.
exclusive Wet Coast Wools thing.
Maybe she'll get we'll get an exclusive colorway. Who knows?
Sure.
Not that it's all not exclusive, but
Yeah, really. When they're
I love the purple one.
This is the one that Bernadette really wants. She wants me to make more of them so that way
I
she
want-
can.
I want
more
more
for a
of the one
sweater.
that you're knitting.
Oh, yes. So, and this is probably like my favorite one that kind of was a happy accident, but thankfully I kept track of how I made it. I don't know if you can see the colors super well.
It does come up a little brighter in the final.
Okay, cool.
We are
so,
trying to move around.
yeah, so this is a sock that I'm making right now out of one that I dyed in my original batch. So I'm hoping to kind of recreate stuff kind of like this, as well as having, you know, like we were showing the ones that are kind of, you know, a few different colors. Sort of thing. So my motto is color should look good on you, or color does look good on you, I should say.
It's a good motto.
So it'll be bright, it'll be fabulous, it'll be fun. And I'm excited to actually like dye some wool and have some here. So because people keep trying to steal my sock because I'm making it here. And
the purple skein has almost tried to come home with me.
Yeah, it keeps ending up in people's bags. So I'm like, why don't I just make more and share?
Yes.
So July 1st.
Okay.
K-Zip Knits.
We will try and get it on the website too as soon as I can. Once you bring all your skeins in, I can
Yes.
do some photography and get them up there.
Yay!
Yeah, in which case, early July is good because then I can do all the photos.
Then
and
we'll
get
have
them online.
time.
And get them online before I go on holiday.
Perfect.
Excuse me while I drop down a stitch because I just realized I messed something up.
So yeah, that's my exciting bit of crafting news.
So shop news / crafting news, which is
Yes.
excellent. Do you want?
I
I was like, you
I can
drop a
pause.
stitch, so I don't know if
I
you...
didn't drop a stitch. I missed a strand. I'm being picky. I missed a strand down below, and I'm gonna fix it.
No,
So
I think
my
it's a couple
crafting, I've been sewing, as I mentioned.
Forced
so
her to make garments. Everyone be happy.
The last time I sewed proper garments was in high school. I have my apron. I made an apron in home ec in grade 8, which I still have and use all the time. So I started making a skirt. This is my lobster skirt.
It's awesome.
It's the
Sewaholic.
Sewaholic. I was going to say shopaholic. It's not that. Sewaholic ray skirt. Look, I even put in the little ribbon marking the back. It was like the optional to show you how to wear your skirt
I was
properly.
just like, why?
It shows you the center back seam so you can actually put it on properly. And I'm going to lean forward again.
I was like, I can take your stuff.
Because there's lobsters on the fabric. Can you see them?
It's a product of
Aren't they
fabric
crazy?
shopping.
So yeah, Bernadette convinced me that I need the lobster skirt. And it's super cute and I really like it. And I was going to wear it today, but it's cold. 16 degrees is
by
not
cold,
warm.
it's 16 degrees.
That is not warm enough for me to wear skirts. I need like 26.
You just need to wear boots.
I need to take sewing lessons with you guys,
Yeah,
apparently.
it's actually not that hard. But
No.
and then I made a bunch of little project bags. And these are the noodle head pattern.
It's the same one I use for mine.
So this is my first one. I like this side better because it's got a big hippo on it.
Super fun.
And this is the smallest size. It might be a wee bit short actually because I had very little of this fabric. And I did really, really stiff interfacing on this one so you can see it like stands up on its own. But it's the perfect size. This is my little tin box of tools. My poor tin is so old it no longer it has a habit of falling open in my bag and spilling everywhere, and I've lost stitch markers that way. So now I have a little pouch for it to hide in. So that was that one. And the other one, I'll just show you again, was this guy. And I have so many more. And I just...
It looks like your zipper just goes way off the
I know, mine I tried to
you can cut the zippers.
I know I can cut the zippers. I didn't want to cut the zippers.
Okay.
I cut this zipper.
I like because it's like bright green, so it's kind of
Yeah.
fun, and then the polka dots on the end I think is a nice touch.
It's very cute. I just, when I saw it on
match the
Instagram, I was
inside.
like,
Yeah.
that is kind of hilarious because it just goes way off
'cause
the end.
I
It's
don't know.
easier to find. You just reach in and grab a zipper.
I found another tutorial that I'm going to try, and it's the one where you fit the zipper perfectly. It doesn't stick out over the edge, and it looks like you actually put ends and fabric ends on the zipper, and then when you sew it in, you see the little colored bit of fabric on the ends of the zipper. I don't know if that makes sense.
Cool. A little bit, yeah.
I don't know. I just am playing around with stuff. I have so many fat quarters, and then I just bought all of this fabric in half yards or quarter.
Take
Or
up
half
quilting.
yards, I think. I should probably take a... That was my goal.
I got a really great book on quilting as you go,
Oh, yeah.
which I should show you.
Oh, I'll have to look at that.
Uh-oh.
It's the modern, or Quilt As You Go made modern that
Oh, I think I've seen that
I
one.
saw it on Love Sock Wool.
Yeah.
Love her podcast. And then Mina got it because she saw it on Love Sock Wool, and it's on Kindle for $10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I
Ooh.
definitely purchased it and spent a large portion of my day
Yeah,
off
that's- oh, I'm
knitting
thinking
and
about stitch,
looking
shoot.
over this book, and I'm like, because with all the garment making, I have all these
Yeah.
extra
Yeah.
leftover things. And I'm like, I can quilt. Also, there's a quilt store around the corner from my house.
That's dangerous.
Super
I
dangerous.
feel like we need to have a Sunday, since we're closed Sundays right now, where we all just bring like our sewing machines in, because this is such a nice big table.
There's no
Yeah.
way I'm moving my sewing
The only
machine.
problem is
It's like 30 pounds.
I would
Not
my
traveling with it.
yeah, my concern about having a sewing day here is that the second we're in the store, people
People
want to
wanna
come in.
come in.
And
Well,
it's
then we
really
put a
hard
sign
to-
on the door that says we're closed. See the closed sign.
Yeah.
It's called a professional development day for the crafters.
Yeah. So my craft all the
Sorry,
things.
Back to picking up my stitch. That
It's all good. I'm just like
Saturday
attempting to
night.
get through the list before my caffeine runs out.
Oh.
So I was doing some garment making this week because Glenda and I went and did fabric shopping, which was dangerous because I found not only Star Wars fabric, I found Star Trek fabric, and I found some other beautiful prints. I made the Star Trek dress, which I did not bring, but I'll put a picture either over my face or between Glenda and I. Made that one out of a simplicity pattern that I'm not honestly super impressed with because it's got princess seams and doesn't fit me properly, and I can't adjust it as easily because of the way the seams are. So out of frustration, I cut out another canby dress out of some beautiful like hexagon bumblebee fabric. After making a bunch of project bags to make myself feel better about my sewing. So I started making the canby dress, hopefully be done tomorrow, and then maybe in theory I will have a picture here as well. I don't know. And yeah, I just made a bunch of project bags as well for my other craft all the things, which I made this one. I finally used the dog fabric you got me for Christmas.
Nice.
I just didn't want to haul all of them in.
I want
they
to
didn't
see
have
your dog
projects in there.
fabric thing at some point.
They will definitely get projects in them. I just didn't want to. I made like 6 bags. I gave Sam one because she didn't have any projects. I also gave her a bigger one because her sweater was living in a plastic bag. It was making me sad, and I was like, your knitting needs a better home. So yeah, maybe I will also put a picture over my face of those ones because these are all on my Instagram, but might just be easier to throw them in. But I'll try and link the bag tutorial and like the dress patterns, and maybe I'll just put a sewing patterns link in our show notes if anyone's interested. Because honestly, the canby dress, now that I've made, I think this hexagon bee fabric one is my 5th or 6th canby dress, and I love them. It's my favorite. Because like it has 2 different skirts, and like all the fabric I get, like I can get 2 meters of anything, and I can always make a straight skirted canby dress. For the big poofy one, you need at least 3 meters because the bottom is huge. I did also start cutting out my Doctor Who Van Gogh one on Friday with Glenda while she was cutting out her lobster skirt. I made it through most of the body. The lining's still not cut though. I don't know. It's a fine balance between trying to get my knitting done and my sewing done. My cross stitch has not been touched since the last time you guys saw it. My spinning is also still only half the singles. I should probably just randomly whip out some spinning though, because that'll give me a boost on Stash Dash.
No, I think you should go back to sewing. I think lots and lots and lots
Should
of
really
sewing.
finish those adjust those princess themes.
Yes, I think so.
Nah. See, the good thing is about the Star Trek dress is I can kind of just put like a cardigan over it, and then
yeah.
magically it fits. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it looks
well,
really
just-
cute. The cardigan over top.
Yeah, so a small part of me is like, do I really want to fix it? Probably at some point. It'll
Given
be like
that-
the Crazy Stripes tee where it just sits for
Yeah.
like 2 years.
Given that aside from the summer, you can't wear the dress without a cardigan.
No, I wear cardigans most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I think that's all we have for today.
Oh,
Unless
we're-
anyone has anyone's...
You gonna talk about your?
Oh,
Centerpiece.
well, I guess just a random aside, sort of. But for crafting, I'm also currently crafting for my wedding. If you like, we can insert a picture here or
Lots of
something.
picture inserting.
I know.
I figured out how to do it. Now we're just like,
Now we're
all
just
the
really
photos.
taking advantage of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am making like all my own decorations and stuff for my wedding, which is coming up in October, and I've kind of got like my prototype of my centerpiece more or less done. So that's been kind of fun to do. So yeah, we'll include a photo of that just so you can see what other stuff I do. Since I'm not really good at the sewing thing, I'm doing other things right now.
I didn't do the sewing thing until just now, so.
It's like the sewing
I've
thing.
made
just
like
to
a
get-
couple project bags, but that was a while back, like a
Yeah.
year ago.
Just to get better at it, you just need to do the thing. That's the only way to get better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
like if you start knitting and you're like, I'm awful, and then you don't keep going. Of course you're going to be awful because you're not
yeah,
doing
you
the
just
thing.
have to.
I can
it's-
never keep my seams straight is my problem. They're like,
The great thing is about poofy skirts is that does not matter.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's lots of fabric to hide it.
There's
in.
also the fact that you spend many, many, many hours a week practicing your violin, so
this is true.
that you kind of have
That
like
eats into my crafting time.
yes. I don't do anything but knit really, so I knit at work, I knit after work, I knit all the time. So
I have to play violin for my job most of the time,
Yes.
so
that requires a lot of effort.
I haven't quite mastered the ability to teach violin and knit while teaching. I haven't decided if I just feel like that's disrespectful to the student or if it's just because it makes me uncomfortable.
You need to find a way. I'm just imagining. You need to find a way that when you're like violining, this is my really bad.
Well, you got the right arms
Yeah,
going
so
on, so
there
you're
you
good.
go. The bow could be attached to something, and then when you pull on the bow, it like pulls something and has
I need
this
a
whole
knitting
elaborate...
machine
Yeah,
that's attached to my
but,
bow.
Like, those really super elaborate machines that I forget what they're called, but when you push a ball and it bounces off something and it does something
Oh,
else,
yeah.
and then so you could totally do that and then have it like knit or like every time you pull your bow back, it moves the carriage for the knitting
There
machine.
you go.
It could totally work.
Okay.
Might be a little hard on the violin, but
That's why you use the cheap stuff.
Okay, are you guys done?
yes.
Okay, cool. I'm like, we could waffle on forever, and I'm just like, I need a break. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So, hopefully we will see you all in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Hopefully, that's the plan. Yeah. So we'll see you guys all next time.
Bye.
Bye!